We'll talk just a minute about comparing oils and what you might want to think about when you do this. And, you know, to all of my dealers that'll see this, this is also going on YouTube. So if you're disappointed if I won't stand up here and make radical statements against other oils, maybe it's because I have good sense. All right, but here's the thing that you got to understand about oil, period, is you have to do a little work on your own. There's a lot of oils in the marketplace, and they're willing to just take your money anytime you put it on the table. So how do you know if you're getting a good product? That's why we have this thing called the internet, which you may be looking at right now. Is if you go to an oil company's website and they don't make it easy for you to look at the technical data that's available for their oil, then that's the first question you ought to ask is, why can't I find the technical data on this oil? If it's not there, maybe it's not there because they don't want you to see it. If they make it readily available, then look at it. Compare it to somebody else's. If you have questions about what do these things mean and how can I actually compare these two products, then look on the internet and find a guy like me, an AMSOIL dealer or somebody other AMSOIL dealer's site. Contact those guys. One thing about AMSOIL dealers, they're usually overloaded with technical information, and most people have to hit the kill switch to turn us off. We have more information than most people want. That's okay. When you're trying to figure out what kind of oil that you want to buy, it's good to get too much information. Now, a lot of times those old commercials, well, Earl's Earl, all oil's the same. Well, no, all oil's not the same. All tires are not the same. All batteries are not the same. All cars are not the same. None of this stuff is the same. And you as a consumer, you have to do some effort to sort this stuff out. Let's say you go into Billy Bob's oil change and you want to get your oil changed. And Billy Bob says, well, I got a good synthetic oil change here on special. I'll do it for you for so much. And you say, oh, that sounds pretty good. Wrong. You just made the first mistake. What oil is Billy Bob going to put in your car? Because that synthetic oil change that is a special may turn out to be just camel spit. Okay? Not worth much. And you just paid for it, and what'd you get? You got to give your money to Billy Bob so he can make the payment on his truck. But you didn't do much for your car. Now what you should do when you go in there is ask for oil by name. I'd like to get a synthetic oil change, and I'd like to use, I'd prefer you'd say, I'd like to use AMSOIL. But at least you would say, I'd like to use Valvoline, or I'd like to use castor oil, or I'd like to use Mobil. Pick a name. Ask for your synthetic oil change by name, because there are lots of cheap imposters coming out that use the name synthetic so they can charge more money, but the quality of the product may not be even as good as a high quality petroleum. How do you know? Well, you probably don't, because they're not going to tell you. They're not going to label on the drum, by the way, this is junk. So what you have to do is ask for the oil that you have some confidence in that's in the marketplace. AMSOIL has no time to make junk. They have a reputation to keep up. Mobil has no time to make junk. They're going to make a good oil. But Billy Bob's special that he got from Uncle Joe that they blended up over on the coast may not be the best oil. So it is really a time you have to be careful on this stuff. And we've got questions that come up, like Michael, one of the dealers here, asked about Royal Purple. Well, do some due diligence on Royal Purple. Look at the numbers that they offer. Learn a little about those. And then if you see an oil that it says, this is the Royal Purple racing oil, got such and such a part number for it, then when you go in the auto parts store and they offer Royal Purple, say, I'd like this oil. You may be disappointed to find out that that oil is only the one that's sold to the racing guys and that it has wonderful numbers, but it's not the consumer oil that's available. Or maybe you go into a speed shop and they have that racing oil, but you ought to know whether you're getting the one that you saw advertised on the internet. If you go in and you look at AMSOIL and you see this wonderful oil called Signature Series oil, fantastic oil, and it is. But then you go into the parts store and they have our new OE original equipment oil. It's not the same oil. Of course, it's not advertised to be the same oil. Nobody's pulling your leg, but you would need to know enough to know the difference. So do a little due diligence. Check out these products, see how they compare. Well, you go to buy tires. Simple. Buy tires. You go in, what do you look for? Well, you look for a radial tire, this, that, and the other, and you buy this tire. And maybe this tire has some name on it, like, I don't know, White's tires or Green's tires. And you go, oh, well, that's a pretty good price, I'll try that tire. You drive a set of them, and you can never get past the tread warranty because the tires keep breaking down and blowing out on you. The next time you come in, you go, you know what, I'd like to know a little bit more about these tires. Those White tires, those things were not very good. Have you got a Michelin tire available, or do you have a Goodyear? He goes, yeah, but that's going to cost you more money. Really? Maybe having the tire that actually works, doesn't drive you into the ditch, is not costing you any more money, but it's doing what you're actually paying for. So my advice on this, and I'm asked about this a lot, is do due diligence. Do a little investigation on the oil. Check it out. See what it's like. But when you go any place to have your oil changed, ask for oil by name. Don't take the house special. It may really be a disappointing house special.